Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps, a continuing series focused and directed to the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelation 7th and 14th chapter. It is a message directed to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuwah and accept Yahushua as Mashiach as our Messiah. For it is through Yahushua, our Messiah, that we are alive, that we march under the banner of Yasharal, commonly known as Israel. It is through Yahushua that all nations, kindreds, and tongues who seek to worship the Almighty Father are made one. That includes both Hebrew and Goyim, Goyim representing other nations, or Abar, or Abari, or Ibri, and Gentiles, again Gentiles representing other nations. These messages are to you, whom I consider my brothers, my sisters, my family. Today is December 11th, 2013. My name is Symmanayah, and this segment is entitled Bells, Whistles, and Alarms. My brothers and sisters, each of us have varying degrees of thresholds which causes us to act, to move. We respond differently, but yet very similar on many fronts. Bells, whistles, and alarms are simply a description for identifying warnings ahead regarding our journey. I could have just said end-time warnings or messages regarding signs of the times. Either way, what's important is how we respond to what is before us. You have now come, at least by now, come to realize we have so many methods for sounding alarms and or warning people, but yet many, if not most, are void of knowing what must be done. Are the words of a prophet righteous? Must we be a prophet to see and discern what the Spirit of Yahushua reveals? Are we required to wear a title or take a position of leadership to speak about what is right? Do we have responsibilities of which will be important and that we would be held accountable now and in the foreseeable future? Allow me to share a passage of scripture with you. That is Ezekiel 30, chapter 31, verse 1 through 9. Ezekiel 33rd chapter, 33, verses 1 through 9. And it reads as follows. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of your people. And you shall say to them, when I bring the sword upon a land, and the people of the land shall take a man from their borders, and shall make him their watchman. And he sees the sword coming upon the land, and shall blow the ram's horn, and shall warn the people. Then whoever shall hear the sound of the ram's horn, and shall not take warning, if the sword comes and takes him away, his blood is on your head. Or his blood is on his own head, If one hear the sound of the ram's horn, and do not take warning, and the sword comes and take him away, his blood is on his own head. 33:5. He heard the sound of the ram's horn, but he did not take warning. His blood is on himself. But he who takes warning shall deliver his being. But if the watchman sees the sword coming, and shall not blow the ram's horn, and the people shall not be warned, and the sword comes and takes any being from among them, he is taken away in his crookedness, and his blood I will require at the watchman's hands. My brothers and sisters, many of us who are able to see are given that information. Our eyes are made open for a reason, for a purpose. Let that purpose first be intercessory prayer, that we may know what we must do in or say, or how we must act. Moving on, Ezekiel 33, verse 7. And you, son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Yasharal, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and you shall warn them for me. When I say to the wrong, O wrong one, you shall certainly die, and you have not spoken to warn the wrong from his way, that wrong one shall die in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. But when you have warned the wrong to turn away from his way, and he is not turned from his way, he shall die in his crookedness, but you have delivered your being. My brothers and sisters, We have scriptures for many reasons of which to contribute to our learning process. When the letters are made alive, we discover a living relationship with the Spirit of Yahushua and begin to grow beyond the constructs of man as we have been programmed in times past. The signs of the times are like bells, whistles, and alarms. They are designed to direct our attention to the Spirit of Yahushua for living instructions and guidance, reproof when necessary, and discipline and judgment when needed. So many of us have directed our attentions outside of the scope or focus of what we have been instructed. This is a result of being distracted and avoid from hearing from the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua or ignoring those whom he has given a message to deliver. It would be wise to begin considering things regarding the now and what is to come. For of these require living obedience to our living Mashiach, our Messiah. In our severe stubbornness to pursue things out of balance, we have become overtaken with disillusions and we have become distracted. This is dangerous and will be corrected, my brothers and sisters. The 144,000 in multitude will rise and we will witness orders, yes, orders, commands from above given. And because of our disbelief and hesitance to turn from distractions, we will face severe, yes, severe conditions that will humble us and result in the fulfillment of a rise of 144,000 and multitude that will come out of the great tribulation. While most believers think end time conditions is to punish the wicked and the children of disobedience, I submit to you, judgment begins at the house of Elohim, the Almighty One's house first. Many of us will come to be surprised when we discover end times conditions are indeed to humble us, refine us, and bring us into obedience to him that gives us breath. For some reason we have mounted this self-righteous horse and think it is all about the Almighty Father Yahuwah attacking and destroying the wicked one. I submit to you, washing robes to get them white will resemble individuals going through humbling processes. In our eagerness, we have overstepped our boundaries all too often. And as a result, we miss many details. In other words, our intentions tend to overpower us and we fail to realize good intentions or even intentions we think are righteous do not always represent true obedience. There is much work to be done regarding the shape and instruction of the 144,000 and multitude. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Look around. All types of bells, whistles, and alarms are going off. They're sounding. I strongly encourage each and every person to realize global food scarcity will be the mechanism used to command the coming new world government. As pertaining to the 144,000 and multitude, the refining process will humble us and demand adjustments to how we respond to what is made known to us. In the wake of following these humbling processes, we will come to know when to move and when to be still. End times are here, and for those who will be ordered, yes, commanded to participate in scripture fulfillment, we will come to understand the fullness of all that we are experiencing right now and in days to come. Pray and watch. Bells, whistles, and alarms representing righteous warnings from the Spirit of Yahushua will perform as they are working words and will not return to the Almighty Father empty nor void. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. The complexity of our journey will come very clear in the foreseeable future. Establish a ready mind, body, and soul. Come to discover your calling in our chosen positions and step into the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude. If and only if you are compelled to believe this is your future. Far too long we have demonstrated misrepresentations, misperceptions of what is right regarding how we are to be led, how we are to manage these earthen vessels as we know as our bodies. This will soon come to an end. My brothers and sisters, bells, whistles, and alarms are important. Let us direct our attention to the Most High and respond accordingly. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, continue to be encouraged. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.